Well, g'day LinkedIn. Evan Batten here from MoveU Media. I am the unretired reporter here on a very overcast Monday morning in Sydney. It is quite wet, and I don't mind admitting, not particularly pleasant. I don't think anyone would argue with that assessment, but it is great to be joining you all here for this live. We are a couple of minutes away from actually starting this proper. What I'm doing here at the moment is just wanting to set up and make sure that we've ticked all the right boxes and got this setting just going tickety-boo, because when it works well, it's amazing, and when it doesn't, it is absolutely terrible. So we're just taking a look at all of the settings here to make sure that we are doing what we need to do, and so I want to say thank you for taking the time now to dial in and to connect. This meeting it isn't happening by mistake. It isn't happening by chance. The algorithm has seen that you have an interest in amplifying your impact and changing how you show up on the planet. We all know we have limited time, limited opportunities to create impact, and it's not all about the results of what we would typically look to achieve. It is about the connections that we want to make, our legacy, and what impact, because at the end of the day, there are only so many days that we all have left. Bit of a morbid thought. Maybe it suits the weather, I don't know. But how to achieve a greater result, a greater impact, more connections, a disproportional impact is by showing up and leveraging the power of our story to create stronger connections. And so I want to inspire you, friends. That's the real topic here that we're going to be doing a deep dive into. We'll be talking about a special offer that we have, 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. And that's what I'm particularly excited to talk about, because normally our coaching is a monthly subscription model that my clients find particular value in committing to for a number of months at a time. What I'm really excited about, though, almost like a kid in a candy store, is the results that I achieve in a very short period of time, right at the beginning. And it's what the change that I see happening from people feeling uncomfortable, lacking confidence, or relying on a confidence that's more performative than human, and seeing how quickly things can change, and they do, when people show up with that authenticity for themselves. This is the space that we see people getting into, and so this is very encouraging to see. I'm just doing the final check here, and it looks like everything, friends, everything is up and running, working just as we would like it to. So we will. I will share with you that I've been quite curious as the weather has closed. Let me just take a little bit of a walk around, set the scene for you, because you've taken the effort to join in early here. So I'll reward you with this as look, it's still raining just ever so slightly here as I look south over the harbour towards happening with that? Oh, there we go. Audio's back. I think I've worked it out. These are the reasons why you don't want to tinker with these things too much. And isn't that funny? You just click one button trying to run a test and I messed the whole thing up. So thanks, Steve, for the note there about the audio, and appreciate you letting me know it's all back up and running. And so this is all about how to change how you show up. This will change how you show up in all sorts of contexts, not only on live TV, say, for example, not only in interviews, not only when the marketing team comes around with a video camera and says we want to understand, get your thoughts on a particular topic. It's not just about that. It's about so much more than that. This is about you as a human, how you show up, how you connect, how people engage with you, and how much of yourself you bring to the fore. Media training's been a really useful thing for a long time, but we're going to talk a bit about that, about how it actually limits us, how it actually focuses on performance, not authenticity, in a nutshell. And as I say, this isn't just some code that I've cracked after years as a nightly news reporter. This is actually what I've lived. This is my own very lived, visceral experience. I've felt this as I've done live TV, as I've turned up each day, hearing those comments from family and friends that kind of sow more than a little seed of doubt in the back of your mind about, have you really got what it takes to do this? I've lived that. I've felt it. I've experienced it for a long period of time. And I know what it is to be struggling in that space. And more importantly than that, I know how to get you out of it. I know how to help you find a fresh path out. And now, Chris Craner, are you saying that audio's back, or you still have lost audio? Or are you just agreeing with the comment I said? I just want to make sure you can all hear me. I'm seeing that it's looking fine here. I just don't want to open the microphone. Well, I'll just, let's just, we've got a couple of minutes before we're live. So, okay. There's like a 45-second delay here. And I don't know exactly what that's for, but I don't mind it because it means, well, actually the other day when I did the first one of these, it meant that I was completely thrown, because I'm used to like a 2 or 3 second delay in TV land. That's no problem. That's not a stress at all. I get it. But like 45 seconds was like, what? Why did I say that? I want to edit my comments from before and try and think about what I'm going to say now and create, keep the conversation going. And so, that's it's looking like we've got a good connection. I'm just even walking around now that the rain has started to ease a little bit. I'm just looking for a bit of dry ground somewhere where I can put the laptop. Do you know what? I think this artwork here, friends, because you're here early, you're the ones who will see the secrets, the behind the scenes. This is the setup. This is how he's done it. Get a little bit of it. Let's go with the Harbour Bridge, because we've got to have something in there, and I don't want to be walking around the whole time. And so I've got a little bit of cover on the keyboard there, just in case the rain does pick up. But hopefully, if I just stand back here, everyone can hear me fine. And so we'll just start to just really hope that rain eases right off, because this is so much. What platform am I using, Steve? I'm using Riverside. One of my colleagues in the US loves that StreamYard. And so I'm testing them all out at the moment. And I've got to say, can I just share with you, this is how easy it is to go live on TikTok by comparison, or any other. I think if I had more followers on the other platforms, I'd be able to do it just as easy on them. But for TikTok, I've got enough followers, and it's as easy as hitting one button, go live, and it counts down. 3, 2, 1. G'day TikTok, Evan Batten here, once again live. You're actually catching us behind the scenes just a moment before we go live on our LinkedIn Live, and there's some people have just dialed in, very curious to know about what platform and technical sort of setup we've got going for this live here now. Look, we'll see how this goes. I don't want to irritate my live audience here on LinkedIn, and I want to give everybody something that they can, enjoy here and engage with. So we'll see if this can work for the duration of our chat that we're going to be having in 5 minutes' time when it starts. Friends in New York, thank you for dialing in. I hope you had a lovely dinner. Hopefully you're enjoying the last part of your summer as we get ready to, you get ready to head into. Here's hoping that you don't get the same weather this summer, this Christmas period as you had last Christmas period, because that snow that you had in February there in particular, January, was quite an event. Now, look, the rain is just starting to pick up here a little, so I will just look for some space. We might be able to get out of the rain, save my tech, because goodness knows, there's a lot of things that tech can roll with, extreme weather of all sorts, but rain just ain't good on the computer. And there's just some people over there in the little booth. So I was over there earlier, but I may just give them that time. Now, TikTok friends, this may just mean I'm not going to be able to juggle holding the laptop and doing a live with you. If I could, I'd just leave this feed going so you could all be part of it, because there is a really cool offer that I'm going to talk about. Wow, this rain's really happening now. There was those thoughts in the back of my mind, the cautious optimism around, should I just do this anyway, or should I just play it safe? I could have done this from the lounge room at home, which, would probably look, oh, here we go, probably look like everyone else's lounge room. Now, look, here's a dry bollard, friends. So we're going to plant our laptop here, out of the rain as it is for the moment, knowing that this is possibly, there we go. Look, I reckon as long as we've got the Opera House somewhere in the shot and a bit of the Harbour Bridge, then people are going to be happy with this. And so, friends, on TikTok, I will, look, let's just pop this down here. If you can still hear me, great. My AirPods are connected to the LinkedIn laptop and all of the things we've got going there. So that is where it's going to be happening for the main. Of course, now I'm just concerned about the wind picking up and blowing this laptop. But there's not a breath of wind as a little minibus comes around here and as we get a train going overhead. So I hope that the sound quality is reasonable enough for you to be able to get a sense of the conversation that I want to have, because it is vitally important. What we're talking about here will change the impact that you have on the planet for the rest of your life. We're going to get quite deep. I'm going to get very specific. I've got a real offer that I'd like to put forward as I let you all know about the new offering that we have. A lot of you will have heard about the coaching program I do over many months with people, and that is built around a monthly subscription, enabling you to do everything about how to find put yourself in the story as a storyteller, how to capture interviews with other people and capture the moments as they happen around you. As a nightly news reporter for the last 30 years, that's everything I've been doing as a TV reporter. That is how to create content, narrative-rich, broadcast quality content. I've done documentaries. I've presented documentaries. Most of my time since the late 90s, I've spent as a news reporter doing those sort of short 2-3 minute, 90-second, 2-minute news stories every day. And what I've seen, whether it's those long-form documentaries, whether it's working as a news anchor for a time, whatever the channel, wherever it is in the world, humans love stories much the same sort of way. And what I've been able to do is take everything that I've seen as a nightly news reporter and enable leaders to do the same just using their smartphone, nothing else. And so in terms of techniques and strategy, this is about how to show up authentically to build trust at scale. We're going to get onto that in a minute. There is just 1 minute to go now, so thank you all for dialing in. Thank you for my friends there who've been so patient and helpful just with the technology, and I'm really looking forward to letting you know about this offer. 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. And if it sounds too good to be true, I like to set expectations high and over-deliver. That's what I'm planning to do here. And so just a minute or so to go. I just want to give people that chance to dial in. For our friends on TikTok, I'm getting some lots of hearts there. So I guess you're actually still able to hear me quite well, even though these AirPods connected with another space. Lots more hearts. It's wonderful to see. Thanks for the vote of encouragement. I'm going to try and not get hit by a bus here because literally they are coming by. I'm standing with one foot in the gutter, so I'm hoping that's enough to keep me out of trouble. But I do need to just step forward like this for a moment just to get out of harm's way. Most of the bus drivers are driving through here fairly slowly, so I'm happy to do that. Friends, welcome to this unique live event. I'm so happy that you've joined us here. Evan Batten is my name, for those of you that don't know me yet. I've been a nightly news reporter. For about 30 years, I was in mainstream media. A unique thing about my journey is not only did I focus on the crime round for much of that time, but I actually started in the early 90s as a sound recordist, head of the fire brigade, as a sound recordist back in the early 90s. And I was doing that role for about 5 years or so. I had zero confidence to go on camera. And that was where I started to feel not only the excitement around the value of people's stories, but also I got to feel that real sense of, oh my goodness, this is what it is really like to be in the spotlight. It's terrifying. It's a visceral, physiological, even as a sound recorder, standing close to people who were getting ready to go on video themselves. Just being close enough to them was an event for me. I didn't know about cortisol back in the day, but I'm sure that was impacting on me in all sorts of ways back when I started as a sound recordist. My role, for those of you that don't know, was to put a microphone on the talent before they went on TV. And just being that close to them and that close to the action was an extraordinary experience of mine. But I got to see for the first time what it was like for people to show up. Hey, mate, what it was like for people to show up on camera like that. And, you know, I could be having a chat with them 1 minute, just talking, you know, in a really pleasant sort of way. Hey, how you going? How's your day? What are we going to be talking about? The sport, the game on the weekend, or the profit results for the company this year, or the whatever it was, politicians, celebrities, the movie they've got coming out, their radio show, the ratings, their election result. They lost the election. They've lost their seat. They've won. They got a landslide victory. I noticed as a sound recorder standing there what was actually going on for them, because they could be very chatty 1 minute and then literally the next second they're like a robot. Talking points, posture, how do I stand, how do I sit, what do I do, how do I show up, and what are my talking points? And then whatever the question was, this was the other weird thing, right? They'd be asked any sorts of questions, and whatever the question, like, you know, well, having said that, let me say this, you know, all these kind of command phrases they'd come out with just to steer the question back, and smart journalists would get frustrated with them and go, hang on, mate, answer the question, that kind of thing. Mate, definitely this was happening in Australia, right? And I saw as a sound recordist this real artificial performance that came with media training. But anyway, back then, this was something that just terrified me. And so I then went on to become a news reporter. And I've certainly got many stories I want to share with you about that in the next couple of minutes, if you're able to stay with us. But what I want to get to in the main is talk about how what I normally do as a coach, working with C-suite leaders, founders, entrepreneurs all over the world to help them amplify their leadership impact by telling their story, their real story, and all of their story. You know, how to get into the real gritty broadcast detail of the power of their stories, their behind the scenes stories, the day in the life, the before and after, the deliverables, the client testimonials. That's what I'm so excited, so passionate about working with people. And what we're talking about here today is a new offer that really brings you to possibly one of the most compelling parts of the work that I do. And that happens in the first few days and weeks as my clients really lean into the coaching that I offer, and I see dramatic transformations. And I keep it all confidential, which is not helping my business because this is the most dramatic before and after. But let me tell you, friends, and I'm able to share some. There's a post that you'll be able to see recently of one of my most recent alumni who his wife, his work colleagues are all like, far out, what's going on for you? You've changed. You've changed. Confidence levels through the roof. They think of it as confidence, but I think of it as connection, because confidence can come to us artificially in a fake way through media training and focus on performance. We can get the hand gestures, the body language, the posture that will own the screen and talk to you like this. And we can look and sound like some sort of comical robotic. I mean, increasingly in this AI, in this social media space, authentic connection is the only thing that counts. Everything else looks fake. We all remember seeing that the CEO of a large fast food chain who recently tried to do a video for social media by eating a hamburger. Oh, the product is really good. This is tasty. Selectively edited so that you couldn't see where they were eating. Every other CEO out there in the fast food space has jumped on them and done a real video just showing up as they really are. The work that I do achieves massive results for people early on. And so what we're doing now is a rare offer, special, unique offer now, because I'll only be able to offer this to a certain number of people and to deliver quality for them. So it will be limited. And so I want to invite you to consider 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. 21 days. A deep dive, a significant financial investment in your professional development, but it actually lives up to the promise. If you lean in for those 21 days, you will see results within days of starting this, because what it does is focus on who are you? How do you show up? What are you relying on when you go on video? What's impacting on you in that space? What are you aware of? Because friends, my first time on live TV was a horror show for me. I actually think I did better than I think looking back on it, because I was embracing some performative techniques around breathing, around trying to stay calm, around trying to suppress my heart rate. I was aware of the breathing rate. I was aware of this. But like everybody, like you, right? The last time you went on video, like all of us, I'm sorry about the train, we feel these visceral impacts in our physiology. That's what hits us first up. Sweaty palms, tight knots in our stomach, dry throat, sweaty palms. How does that help us, right? Our subconscious is trying to get us to faint, to get out of this situation, because it's a threat. We've been here before. They laughed at us last time. When you were a kid, you forgot your line in the play. All of these problems that impact on how you show up. It's not pleasant. It's not enjoyable, right? And so our bodies are trying to keep us safe and get us out of there. You're not going to like this, so we want to get you out of here as fast as we can. That's the space that we are operating from when we go on camera. And so what happens normally is when executives are being promoted through the ranks and they know in about 12, 18 months they're going to be in a forward-facing role, bring in the CMO, let's get some media training going. That's all right, we'll media train them, they'll be fine. And before you know it, they just look and sound like every other corporate robot, because all they can do to deal with those very normal human reactions that do normally keep us safe is do this performative thing. Breathe in a certain part of your body, speak from a certain part of your voice, only think about these ideas. Whatever the question is, respond with this, pivot it this way, control it this way. This is the performative space that we get into. And you know what? If you have to memorize a script, well, you're either going to be reading it off some sort of teleprompter, or your assistant's going to be holding it at the back of the cameras, or there'll be something sort of prompting your memory to say what you need to say because it's what's written on the page, not because it's what you know, not because it's what you believe, not because it's what's most important. And there is a far more authentic way to show up and connect, whether it's with a journalist, a press conference, live TV, making your own videos for socials, whatever it is, there is a far more authentic way to connect. And that's what we do at the start of Project V. And so I want to encourage you, think about doing the whole course, because when you put yourself forward and build a personal brand, there is no greater way to show up authentically, to build trust at scale, than by having a comprehensive personal brand for social media, but also for strategic internal comms, how you communicate with the staff team, the investors, the stakeholders, the board, offline communications, just as important as your personal brand online. You want to get ahead of the competition, whether it's the other companies or your counterparts at the other companies or the ones that are trying to get your job? How do you have visible, authentic leadership, transparency, accountability? It's not just about doing a video in a crisis to show that you've got control and trying to do it. It's too late, friends. Start now. Start now. And if you want to start small, we can start small with a 3-week deep dive, 21 days. Now, this is not some code that I've cracked by using AI and cleverly speaking, interviewing thousands of people, and this is what I've noticed. I've seen this in the people I've coached for the last 7 years. Last 3 of it running this business full time. Before that, it was a side hustle while I was still at Channel 7 working as a nightly news reporter. I've seen it, but that wasn't where I first saw it in other people. I lived this as a junior reporter, trying to find relevance, find my voice. And so that's how I know this works. Not only have I seen it, not only do I have amazing testimonials from people who've never got on camera, from people who've spent their lives on camera and now have a new way of showing up. I've seen the results that just work. Just works. So I know it will work for you. 21-day deep dive, 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. And in this, we're going to, it's not a course, not a course. It's not Zoom workshops that you got to clear your diary to get to. This is not AI interacting with you cleverly, like it'll look like Evan, it's an Evan avatar, but friends, what you're going to get with this is asynchronous coaching from me. Over WhatsApp is the platform, Signal we can use as well, where you're sending me your content. We're having a conversation and we're talking about all of these aspects that I've just mentioned. This is where the ground is shifted. And so, yes, there's a couple of videos to watch as we go along through the 21 days. There is nobody on this planet who is too busy. Do you know what that is right now? What you're thinking, I haven't got time for it. I don't have time. I can't do this. I have not got time. That is the scared part of you speaking. That's all it is. That is fear speaking right now. Fear is trying to keep you safe. I haven't got time for it. You've got time for this. There are a series of short videos to watch. It doesn't even matter if you don't watch all of them. Any one of them gets to the nub of it. And then we just sort of show you from different points of view the same kind of idea. You have time for this. And what you are getting in response is me interacting with the videos that you send me, helping you make progress through it. There's a process that we follow, but it's not AI generated. It's not formulated by some other, some guru overseas. It's just me. And this is what I struggled with for many, many years as a junior news reporter. How did it happen for me? Well, look, let me just get to the offer first, because I know some of you are going to be like, oh gosh, like it's 12 past already. I'm either thinking about getting to bed or getting to that next meeting. Maybe you've just been watching this on double speed. Now's the time just to slow it down to hear the offer. Then I want to let you know about the time that everything changed for me. It was September 11. And yes, I did cover parts of what happened overseas, but I was a junior reporter. And this was my first time going live on TV on a massive story that was too big for any junior reporter to ever be responsible for. So I want to share that story with you in a minute. But just to get to the nub, because I hate it when they make you wait an hour and then they tell you, oh, it's $600,000. Okay, so here we go. This is an investment you're making for the next 21 days in how you show up for the rest of your life. This is your personal brand. This will change how the feedback you will get from family members, work colleagues will be notable. They will refer to it as something like confidence. You will feel it as something like authenticity. Like you will really understand what that word means, because you will actually be able to be comfortable in your own skin is another expression I hear. So across 21 days, now I've got 2 prices I'm going to mention. One's in US dollars for the rest of the world. The other one's in Australian dollars, because my friends all across Australia, you'll need to be paying GST on this. That's okay. Company will pay for it. But it is a factor. I need to collect that tax for the Australian government and pay to it on your behalf. That's the way it works, doesn't it? So the 2 figures I'm going to give you are to cover this coaching with me, 21 days of coaching with me. And in fact, I'm going to get to an even better offer after the story that I'm about to tell you. But let me just get to the price, because that won't change. The investment you're making in yourself, for those of you in New York right now, I can tell you just the sun's gone down. You're like, come on, get to the point. For the price of $1,800 US, I will take you through 21 days of bespoke, individualized, personalized coaching, me and you. I will be watching your video content, engaging with what you say and responding to it with a video message that will help you to make progress through the program. Not a course, no AI, nobody else. Just me, the unretired reporter, helping you to show up authentically. US dollars, 1,800 US dollars for 21 days. In Australia, what does that sound like? 2,500 plus GST. Yeah, that's it. It's a little bit more than 2,500, but we're going to call it 2,500. 2,500 plus GST, nice round figures. 1,800 US for everyone, everywhere else in the world. So my friends in London, goodness, 2:15 a.m. Thank you for watching now. Go to bed because when you do, 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. When you do it, you want to be getting good rest. You want to be invested in this process because it will achieve change for you. I've lived this and I can help you to get there faster. Why do I call it Project V? Project V? V for video, yeah, kind of. The real reason is because it was about 5 years of my life where I sucked on TV. I looked terrible. I sounded terrible. I sounded robotic. I looked and sounded too young to be on TV. I had the experience of friends and colleagues. You know, I was excited to go to the family barbecue and say, hey guys, I got that job at Channel 10. How good. I was there on Sky News doing the Sydney Olympics, working overnights. For the years before that, I got the occasional story on Channel 10 News on the weekends in the late 90s. I was going through uni doing that. This is after years of working in the media as a sound recordist and seeing up close the impact it has on other people as they go to show up. And then there I was, being given an opportunity to be a news reporter in a major metropolitan market. As the bridge starts to drip on me now, I guess the deck starting to really fill up with water. You can just barely still see the Opera House there. I'm hopeful because there's patches of blue sky through the clouds over there. So I am hopeful that this will ease up soon because I do want to get to the offer. I will improve the offer if you sign up. But if you sign up in a particular way, by direct messaging me with a video of yourself, a short one, keep it very short. Definitely not even a minute long. And send me a direct message on LinkedIn. That'll let me know that you want to register. You can tell me whether you're doing it in Australia or somewhere else in the world. You can get all the paywall set up and everything else so that you can just get a start. Friends, 3 weeks from today, you will be a different person. You'll be showing up differently in meetings. But how do I know? How did I formulate all this? Where did it come from? How did I crack the code? Well, I lived it. I struggled with it. I wrestled with it for 5 years. Project V, the coaching that I do, is 5 years of my struggle that gets you there in a matter of weeks or months, depending on how quickly you lean into this, how much energy you put into the process. That's what it gives you. Authentic connection, disproportional impact. But how did I learn it? Well, I've been given this break in the Channel 10 newsroom. And I'll never forget, because one of the biggest stories in Australia, I was so excited to be asked to be a part of the coverage. Wow, what a great opportunity. I'm going to be a junior dog's body, a gopher, for the senior reporters covering one of the most important days in one of the saddest events in Australian aviation history, the collapse of Ansett. Happened in the early 2000s. But for me, it came to a real crunch point because I just started at Channel 10 in about May, June 2001. So it was only barely weeks into this new role, right? I'd done some reporting for pay TV during the Olympics. I covered the Sydney Olympics in the graveyard shift at night. And really, now being in daylight shifts, prime time was like, you talk about diving in the deep end. Today's not so much, but back then, 2001, this was massive. I felt nervous just walking into the newsroom, the presence, the atmosphere, the energy in the space. So to be given an opportunity to be, a part player in the coverage, I'm just going to move out of this, hopefully find a spot that's a little less drippy, because my laptop cover here is starting to cop it a little bit more. And my friends on TikTok are probably appreciating me holding the phone. So I've got the resty on the laptop as well, just a little bit closer, and the phone's probably going to enjoy not getting wet there so much. There I was, Evan, Ansett, you, tomorrow morning. Now, they don't tell me first up that I'm going to be assisting the news reporters to do it. They just say, you're doing it. They watch my reaction and they go, mate, don't worry. It won't be you the whole time. It'll be, I don't know, they mentioned at least one, possibly two other reporters that I would be going out to help. Because, for news reporters, when they got a big story, having other people there to assist is more than just a nice to have on a big story where there's multiple elements. It really is a big thing. So I was feeling it already, understanding that this was no small feat for me to pull off. To do this well would mean I'd probably get more day shifts, less producing shifts, and more shifts reporting, which is what I was hungry for. Little did I know what was about to happen next, because when they said, "Oh, Evan, you'll just be the assist, helping out," I thought, "Oh, okay, cool, great." I relaxed. Take a deep breath. Go home, get to bed, get some good rest. We'll see you bright and early, 5 a.m. tomorrow morning at the airport. Actually, no, come here to the office first, and then you'll be going to the airport. Meet here at 5 a.m. Meet your crew. I'm going to get a crew. Wow, that was big, because not everyone got crews to go out with. So sometimes you just get a cab voucher and you meet the reporter and the crew out there and just do whatever they ask you to do. So I go to bed early and miss one of the biggest events ever. I'm fast asleep. I'm fast asleep when planes fly into the World Trade Center. A few hours later, I wake up. It might have been 3:34. I have a quick breakfast, and all I'm seeing on TV, I was expecting to see the rerun of, one of the breakfast shows in America. That's sort of what our free-to-air channels put on at that time of day, before breakfast TV really covered things back then. And so we would just tape whatever was happening over there. But instead of seeing the usual host from that familiar set, I just saw the Pentagon, and I'm like, the commentary wasn't really telling me much. I'm still just trying to wake up. This is the Pentagon. Something's happened at the Pentagon. That's bizarre. Maybe it's a mistake, this broadcast. That's about all I got. Get in the car, happily, full of beans. I'm going to be assisting the big senior reporters today. This is a big day. It's going to be a great day. Collapse of Ansett, massive story. Want to help cover this with compassion, get the real human aspects of this. And this is my focus. Little did I know what was soon to happen. I get into the office and I don't see a TV screen first. What I see first is a newspaper. Someone points me to a newspaper. And of course, the front page was one of the World Trade Center buildings. And it still took a little while for me to catch up, because what they then said to me next stole all of my thinking before I could really get my head around the terror attack. What they said was, Evan, we need you to go and do this on your own. Don't worry, we'll have a producer help you do it all, but you'll be going live tonight at 5 o'clock, 12 hours time. You'll be on live TV covering Australia's biggest news story, because it's no longer Australia's biggest news story. Have a look at the TV. And then, like everybody, right, how do you make sense of that? It didn't make sense. So I'm sort of trying to understand what's happened with September 11, trying to understand what's just happened now with I was just going to be the helping people out here. And now you want me to be now it's me? I don't know what that means. I don't do live TV. I'm the cadet reporter, remember? and what has happened in America? Right. So there's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of support for me, because everyone's really focused where they should have been. But yet I'm out there gathering stuff, and people are still losing their jobs in Australia. This hasn't just suddenly stopped Ansett from collapsing. Ansett collapsed. People lost their jobs. And this was a big day when a lot of things happened in that space. So this is how I know what it takes for you to show up. Thank you for joining us. If you just dialed in for this LinkedIn Live, for this TikTok Live, down here under the Harbour Bridge. I'm trying to stay dry, but my goodness, it's coming in sideways now. I was hoping it was going to stop. Look over to the south. I can see in about 10 minutes. Can you see the blue skies there behind me? It is going to improve. And I'm talking to you today about a unique special offer that gives you just a taster of the best parts of the Project V coaching course that I do. And this is a unique offer. I'll get to the special aspect of it if you sign up now. But just the broad headlines are it's an $1,800 investment, 2,500 Australian plus GST. And to register for this, you just need to send me a video on my LinkedIn direct message. Short 30-second video, introduce yourself, tell me what you want to get out of it, but keep it short. And that'll let me know that you want to get into it. And if you do that, you'll get an extra bonus by signing up for this. And I'll be going into that in a moment. When I just finish sharing with you all how it is that I cracked this code that undoes everything that media training has been trying to do and failing for so long. And anyway, yeah, we're not quite standing in the rain. I'm getting just the offcasts of the Harbour Bridge as it leaks down on me. But I'm confident, very confident, that in a matter of less than a few moments, we're going to see this rain really start to ease up out there. I can see it's still splashing in the puddles. So in not too long, we will be heading out there. But I am just sharing with you all this pivotal moment in my career, in my personal development. And it's uniquely, this is what has actually helped me to change how I show up as a coach with real empathy, understanding people who sign up for the Project V coaching program that I do are in for a challenging time. It involves letting go of the media training that's kept you safe all this time. It involves being willing to change how you show up for the rest of your life. The benefit is it's an authentic connection like nothing else. It enables you to just be you on live TV, on pre-recorded programs, in media conferences, television interviews, how to just be you in this space. It's a powerful and compelling bit of personal development. And it's a one-off investment as well. 1,800 US, 2,500 Australian plus GST. 3 weeks from now, it will change how you show up completely. You won't... If it sounds like I'm about to offer you steak knives, it's not quite like that. But friends, I'm passionate about this. I often get asked if I miss mainstream media. I never got to work with people like you all when I was in mainstream media. I got to tell stories that involved you all. But I never got to work in this way to see your lives so profoundly changed in such a short period of time. And I do want to say, when you get the taste, you'll quite likely want to find the opportunity to make a further investment in how you show up to tell your story. Excuse me, and do the full coaching program, Project V, because it does show you how to record high quality interviews, and you can see them on my YouTube channel, The Unretired Reporter. I don't yet have enough subscribers there to go live on YouTube, so whoops. But this is why building a personal brand, I know it takes time to build up an audience, because people want to be entertained. They want to hear your story. You do have a story that's worth sharing. They want to hear your story, but finding that audience and building it doesn't happen overnight. And so if you're curious about it, strategically, we cover that in Project V, how to build your personal brand, authentically connect with people. I'll show you the techniques, how to put yourself in the story, get reaction or interviews from other people, how to capture the moments as they happen around you to create broadcast quality content. Good. There's more blue sky behind me. Be able to put this laptop down and start talking with my hands again, because I think I quite enjoy that. The joke is that I often say that hand gestures are part of the performative techniques of media training that I now am so against and want to save people from. But you might be thinking, I haven't got time for this. I haven't got time to do all of this coaching. That's your fear trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you small, trying to keep you invisible, and trying to keep you out of the spotlight, because there's a threat. It doesn't feel pleasant. It's not enjoyable. You might have bad memories. There might be things that are shaping how you feel about it, how you think about it. And that's what I help you to address. In these first 3 weeks, we change that internal dialogue that you have. We change how you show up. It just works. And it's not through any set of techniques. I'm not going to teach you how to breathe. You kind of already know how to do that, I hope. I'm not going to teach you how to speak, because you already know how to do that. I know. I'm not going to teach you how to stand or how to hold your body or facial features. I just had somebody send me a video from New York asking about, in fact, no, she's traveling, but asking me about facial features and micro expressions. I'm not even going to suggest you focus on those because all of that is performative. I'm going to get to the heart of it, your heart and your mind. And we're going to look at everything that's impacting on you as you show up. So quite a compelling investment, 1,800 US, 2,500 Australian plus GST, 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. Send me a short video in the DMs here on LinkedIn, and I will include you in this select group of people. For friends on TikTok, this is happening on LinkedIn. If you want to send me a message here, I'll look to make the connection with you there as well. But this is what's going to change for you, changing how it is that you show up on the planet to build trust at scale. Even the quality of the trust to do that at scale. So there I was, September 12 in Sydney, as we watch September 11 happen in America. And I'm on what was Australia's biggest news story until the terror attacks happened. As you can see, the clouds starting to clear behind me. We might even get the bridge in the background and the Opera House, if it clears up enough. The world changed forever. My first big break on TV, being told at 5 a.m. that at 5 p.m. I'd be going live. Turned out it was about 5:30. And I spent the day in a mild state of panic, which really stepped up a gear at about 3:30 because they confirmed that I'd be doing a live cross at about 5:26 because everything else in the bulletin was where it should be. But people in Australia, every part of Australia were losing their jobs. So it stayed in the rundown and they needed a live cross and they only had Evan. I can laugh about it now, but I can tell you at the same time where I was standing. I remember where I was standing because it was an event that I felt traumatized by. I felt heavily impacted by. It shaped me. Thankfully, I've now got a perspective on it that means I can show up and help other people avoid this and be themselves instead of suffer this. Because I went through this, it didn't just go away after doing the Ansett live cross that night. Goodness no. I had years of struggle, years. And this is how I know that this program that I can take you through, this coaching that I can do with you, it will make changes for you. It will shift the dial dramatically in how you show up. And so I make my way to the airport. I'm the only reporter there for Channel 10. And yes, you're doing live tonight, 3:30, an hour and a half to go. Okay, here's a question we're going to ask you. If we're going to keep it simple, because we can tell this is your first live cross, you're nervous. This is a couple of years before you're ready. We're going to keep it real simple. What's the mood like there tonight? Jessica Rowe will be asking you the question. What's the mood like there tonight? Not a hard question. I really could have said pretty much anything that would have been okay. But I went into overdrive. I felt a sense of paralysis. A large part of my body was still trying to keep me safe. And I was struggling to think about how to show up. And for those of you that have done live TV, you'll know what it's like when they put an earpiece in your ear and you suddenly got a producer talking to you. And at first it's the novelty of, hey, I'm like the Secret Service. Hey, I'm an important TV guy. I've got someone talking to me in my ear and no one else here can hear what they're saying, right? That's kind of but my goodness, I didn't enjoy an aspect of it because in no way was that an enjoyable experience because all I'm thinking about is, am I really going to do this? Can I really do this? That's all I could think about. I was just looking out to see how heavy the rain is out there because I would like to put this laptop down. And where I had it set up a minute ago is chopping it. These bollards here, they are quite wet. You might be able to put them down here. I mean, at least just give you all a break from the unsteady cam view. As I say, in a couple of minutes, I reckon we'll be able to go out there and talk more about this really important offer. 3 weeks that will change how you show up for the rest of your life. And a fixed price for this to give you a real taster, what it looks like to show up authentically. Live in a room, behind a lectern, going on breakfast TV, doing interviews, press conferences, all of this, how to be your authentic self. And for a fixed period, I'll take a certain group, a select group of people through 21 days, 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. 1,800 US, 2,500 Australian plus GST is what it's going to take. And you will not be the same person afterwards. You will have family members telling you, making comments all around how confident you are, how real you are. It's like there's this new version of you showing up now that's just quite authentic and very cool. We like it. And so how to do this in a way that won't put you out there before you're ready, or allow you to let go of the performative media training techniques that have kept you safe up until now, but have really just held you back. As I say, I think definitely the rain is starting to clear out there, so we'll head out there in a moment. I can see the few little splotches on the puddles over there just at the moment, so I will just give it another minute longer. I don't want to get my laptop bag any wetter than it already is. Thank you for friends on TikTok, for friends on LinkedIn. It's great to see you all here. So I'm there. We've got minutes to go before we're live. It's the Channel 10 Bulletin covering the collapse of Ansett. A very young, early 20s Evan Batten, he's standing there out of his depth. Had been assigned this story only because he was going to turn up to help the senior reporters do their job. And now all the senior reporters are covering the terror attacks in the US. Evan is sleep deprived. He's been awake since 3:30 or whatever it was. It's now almost 5:30 p.m. For the last 12 hours, he's been sitting with the knowledge that he'll be covering this, not assisting it. And now we've got minutes to go. And that question that 90 minutes ago was a question for a couple of hours from now, what's the mood like there at Sydney Airport, is now suddenly what you've got to talk about. And my brain fills with fog. My mouth starts moving more slowly. My throat is tight and dry. My hands are not. They're wet and clammy. My stomach is like a ball of knotted anxiety and cortisol. And all I can think about is I've just got to say, what's the mood like here in Sydney Airport? It is not pleasant for anybody. It's not pleasant to see people losing their jobs, realising that all hope was gone of the airline being saved, of their jobs being saved, gone. Decades of careers gone. And so really, from a journalistic point of view, it's not hard to speak into that space. It shouldn't have been a complicated ask. All I really needed to do was talk about, it's a lot of sad people here, there's a lot of distress, people are feeling a real sense of unease about losing their job. Didn't need to go into the detail of any rescue packages or government policy or the union saying this or the airline. Didn't have to go into any of that, I don't think. I just remember trying to keep it simple. They were trying to make it easy for me. They just needed me to speak, say something meaningful, Evan, and then we'll get out. We'll keep it short. Minutes to go. Earpiece in. Jessica in the ad break. Hi, Evan. Oh, what a busy day. Yep, so much going on in America. Anyway, thank you for doing this. How are you feeling? She was wonderful. I don't know that there is an Australian that could have been kinder to me as a TV presenter for my first live cross than Jessica Ray. So thank you, Jessica, for being such an amazing human to me back in 2001. Your kindness was well known and infectious around the newsroom. You were a great guide and mentor to so many journos in that space. And you're now part of my story for forever because you helped me to do something I wasn't ready to do. And now it's part of my story of how I help so many other people all over the world to show up authentically. But there I am. Friends, there is nothing like that moment when it's 90 seconds, coming to you soon, Evan. You're looking great, mate. Stay calm. Have fun. I'm sure they said those sort of things. Because they can see all the blood is drained from my face now. My throat, if it was tight before, is now extraordinary. I don't even know how the air's, how I'm breathing. But I'm trying to think of the stuff, the ideas that will help me to stay on track. I'm trying to keep clear focus, but I'm not sure how this is going to go. And we come out of the ad break and they do a recap of what's happening in America, and that takes quite a few minutes. And then Jessica Rowe starts speaking about Ansett. To other news in Australia now, the collapse of Australia's second largest airline, Ansett. And Thousands of Australians are waiting to learn the fate of their job. For more, we cross now live to Evan Batten at Sydney Airport. Evan, what's the mood like there? Good evening, Jessica. He speaks. Good evening, Jessica. My voice is up here. I'm like, why is my voice up there? Not in terms of tone, but in terms of energy. Like, it's thin. I don't even feel like me. I'm trying to keep it down here, and it's up here. Had no control over how I was showing up, what I was like, anything. Whatever I said next, I don't remember. I got it out. I finished. I needed to swallow. I had like this dam about to burst in my throat. So I swallowed, refreshed my throat, and then my heartbeat started to slow down because it had been going like my chest, tightness. My body was trying to get me to faint so I could get myself out of that threat situation. We can go over here now. Let's go for a wander. Because I did it. And you can do it too. And whatever seems difficult at first, we can get there. Friends, what I want to encourage you most of all as you think about engaging with 3 weeks that will change how you show up for the rest of your life. Oh, a few drops there. Just dropping off the bridge now. I'm sure it's clear up here. What this will mean for you, oh gosh, it is still raining. Let's get out of this. There's a bit more shelter up here. What this will mean for you is achieving a disproportional impact for the rest of your life because, friends, the reality is, and I didn't want to get too bleak gosh, I'm just going to step it up a bit because it is now raining even more. And so I'm just going to get to this shelter. Hope I'm not going to bump anyone else out of this space. Goodness me. If the tech fails, it's been fun. The wet got the better of us is what that's about. But here we go. I promise I won't do it in the rain again. I'll stay in the car next time. Oh, thank goodness. We got this space to ourselves. And so this is what I can help you to do to change how you show up on the planet for the rest of your life, to achieve a disproportional impact. That is what this does. This changes your capacity to show up. I just got feedback from a client this week. Their wife and their work colleagues have noticed the change, the dramatic change. It's not a small change. It's not subtle. This is, you've been like this for the last 30, 40 years. Who are you? You're more natural now. Working with a client at the moment who's facing all of these issues. But they've got the courage to face these issues. And it's extreme. Of all the people I'm working with at the moment, this individual stands out in particular because they are wanting, they are hungry. And this is what I want to say to you before you take up the program that I'm offering here. I will get to the unique offer that's because you're doing this live and you're a part of this now, and the limited time offer. So what's on the table already is $1,800 US for bespoke coaching. No courses, no Zoom meetings, no workshops to put in your diary. $1,800 US for 3 weeks of bespoke one-to-one coaching. In Australia, 2,500 Australian plus GST with a special bonus. For those of you now who send me a video message as soon as this finishes in about, I don't know, a few minutes' time, we'll wrap this up. I'm going to go and dry out. I'll let you know how you can get even more value out of this for yourself by an extension of the offer. But that is the price. But I'm going to encourage you to see the value for yourself in investing in this because this will change how you show up in meetings. You'll go from being one of those people who waits until last and hopes that no one calls on you, who when whoever's emceeing the event says, let's just hear from Evan, you. Yeah, that kind of person who goes, oh my goodness, you feel your stomach go into a knot, but thank goodness they're forcing you to do it because there's no other way you'd be doing this right now if they weren't insisting that you do it. Go from being that person who's terrified and avoids these experiences to somebody who's actually like, I got this. I see the value of it. I'm going to do this because I've got this calm human-centered authenticity about myself, that means I can just show up as I am. I don't need to overcook this. I've got it. I know how to just show up myself and to do this video, to share my story. I know the value of putting myself in the story, getting reaction from other people, capturing the moments as they happen around me, those three things. And then I know that just using my smartphone, I can build out and use quality content for direct messaging with investors, with the board, to update our website, news or team profiles, how to actually let people know who's there, to talk about your vision, your values, corporate culture. All of these things that are so vital for leaders today, whether you're a founder, entrepreneur or C-suite leader, wherever you are in the world. My friends in New York, I know it's starting to get later into your evening, so thank you for joining this conversation. It's wonderful to be part of it with you all. And please let me know if you do have any questions. Thank you to those who've commented about the technical aspects of this. I think we're in a good space now with how the technology is working, despite the weather. But I was saying a moment ago, we've only got so long that we're going to live. There's a day we're going to die. And between now and then, there's only so many conferences we can go to. There are only so many businesses we can run, only so many companies we can start and sell, only so many projects we can oversee. There's only so many annual results we can announce to the market. Quarterly results, annual results. There's only so many connections we can make in our network. And whatever it is, when you look back on your life, at everything you've done, the amount of money that you've earned, the projects that you've overseen, the results that you've achieved, friends, your work doesn't speak for itself, and you're about so much more than those results. See, because you can do all that global travel to speak to those people at those events, you can visit those sites, you can meet these people, and it'll have a certain amount of impact in your efficiency, your connection, your capability. It will drive certain results, but it's fixed. There's a fixed amount that you can do. And sure, AI is going to improve that, but when it comes to authentic trust, building trust at scale, it is vital to recognize the power of your story to amplify your impact. When I say stories, what do you think of? Are you thinking of bedtime stories, children's stories, fairy tales? This is the value of your personal story, sharing your story. Most people don't believe they have a story worth sharing. We feel so uncomfortable about the idea of going on video that we happily avoid any idea of showing up on video. We're just very happy to not go there. It's too uncomfortable. And so what we do is we suddenly think, well, if it's uncomfortable, that must mean that I was going to wipe the laptop, get the water off. That must mean my story's not worth sharing. In fact, it's a bit of a cop-out to say, I don't have a story. And really what you mean is, I don't want to get up and tell my story. But our story is worth sharing. The mistakes that I see C-suite leaders make quite consistently involve believing that their story is not worth sharing, deciding to stay quiet, and letting other people get all the attention. And friends, the problem that happens with that is it means that you're effectively then left to outsource your story to other people, that there is a weakening of the value of your story when you get other people to do it, because it's no longer in your first person perspective. It is going to take longer to do, cost more money because other people are doing some of the work, and it's going to be a diluted story. It's not authentic. Now, I can show you how to save time in the number of emails that you send out by switching into short video messaging, how to do it in a way that actually connects, how to show up authentically and do it in a much better way. Save time with the emails that you spend, and think about occasionally, when you've got a couple of spare minutes, working on editing a short video. Oh, no, I can't do that. Guess what? I'm going to show you the most efficient way using only your smartphone to show up authentically. Just your smartphone, no microphone, lights or tripod, just that device as it is and nothing else. And it will mean that you're able to create content efficiently when you're time poor and when all you have is that phone in your pocket, because let's face it, we always have our phones in our pocket. They're generally within arm's reach, right? But friends, after 30 years in mainstream media, I can tell you, as a nightly news reporter, everything I used to do with a TV crew, the camera operator, you can now do it just with your smartphone. And so when you put on a storyteller mindset and bring that to every other role that you have, you will create a disproportional impact in the way that you show up. Disproportional. You'll still do the same amount of work. You'll still look to achieve the same results. All of that will stay the same. But friends, your work doesn't speak for itself. What actually matters is how you articulate the story and let people know. That amplifies the impact, amplifies your leadership presence, and helps you to create a greater impact. And so that's what I want to encourage you to do, is to get to that place where you can see the value in your story and how it is achievable to show up authentically in that way. How you can... now, I'm just going to find another spot. We've just got some friends have joined us here. I'll let you have your lunch. We'll go out in the rain and find another spot, because I don't want to... obviously wanting to have a conversation and enjoy their lunch, limited lunch break. But this is the value of showing up authentically to share your story, to build trust at scale. And it will mean a disproportional impact in what you achieve with the rest of your life. Friends, this is about, here's the real clincher. It's not about just creating a legacy, but building a dynasty. Having an impact beyond the life that you live here by the quality of the engagement that you create with other people, the connections that you make, and how you show up with other people. That is the real value of this. And so I want to inspire you to think about how this can amplify your reach, your impact, and change all of these aspects about how you show up and how you lead. Lead with real presence, authority, and connection. I was really hoping that rain was going to clear up by now, because there's a real issue with keeping a laptop out in the rain and a phone. And it's a great conversation for us to be having. So thank you for dialing in. I do appreciate your curiosity around 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. So what does it mean, just in the last couple of minutes now? What does it mean for how you're going to change how you show up? What does it mean for this specific offer that we're talking about at the moment? So it is a significant investment, one-off investment that will change how you show up for the rest of your life. $1,800 US for a 3-week bespoke coaching experience with me. So it's 2,500 Australian plus GST. If you send me the video now, and we're just going to do it straight here on LinkedIn. TikTokers, you'll have to get across to LinkedIn. Evan Batten is my name on the LinkedIn profile there to work with, to speak to me there. And I just want you to send me a short video, 20 seconds, 40 seconds. Don't make it a minute. Just let me know that you want to do it, whether you're paying in US dollars, if you're anywhere else in the world. Please, if you are in Australia, you do need to pay GST, and I do need to collect that from you. So I'll just make sure we get that bit of housekeeping right. The tax office happy. But friends, this is going to excite you for the value of your story and what's possible technique-wise for how you can show up. You're going to learn some techniques and some strategies here around storytelling. But more than that, what you're going to pick up is a new capacity for yourself to show up authentically. As I say, I've not cracked some code. Now, I didn't ask AI, Claude, how do I... No, this is what I lived as a junior reporter. This is what I wrestled with for years as a young fella who, as I just explained before, was given an opportunity to do live TV well before I was ready, years before. And the circumstances that led up to that opportunity and how they have shaped what I do now as a C-suite coach, how it's changed the empathy that I have for other people and the respect I have for people when they decide to make a go of this and actually try to change how they show up on the planet. When you invest your time and your energy, and that's more important than the money we're talking about you investing here, when you really throw yourself into this, and what you're getting here is, I have utmost respect for people in that space, and I want to help you. And this is how we can do it the best, with asynchronous video coaching over WhatsApp. So you're sending me videos, I'm watching them and responding to them with videos. No AI. There's no text-driven summaries. There's no bullet point, step-by-step process that you're going to be asked to follow. This is just me talking to you, coaching you through a program, essentially. It's not a workshop. It's not a course. None of this is going to be shared with other people. This is your journey of discovery, finding out who you really are when the spotlight's on you. Who you really are when you're not nervous about showing up, when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you can be yourself, when that authenticity doesn't lose you. That is the beauty of this, how you can show up authentically to build trust at scale. And so, friends, if you send me that video now, this won't just be 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever, but we're going to inject 33% more. We're going to make it 28 days. So you buy, you pay for, you invest in yourself, and you get me for 3 weeks coaching you through step by step how to show up authentically on video, how to create that connection, how to be your authentic self on camera. And then, we can talk then after that about, continuing on with it and seeing how to unlock all of the other capabilities of how to actually tell a story where you are, how to let the story of where you are right now and what's happening influence the strategic goals that you have at the moment. What's the purpose of this video? Who's the audience? Where's it being shown? You've got clarity around that. It makes it so much easier to show up and create compelling content. As I just dip my toe in, so to speak, believing that the rain has now stopped. And I want to take you back to the lovely spot we found earlier before the rain came in. Gosh, who knew it was going to shower at 11 a.m. I wonder if the weather report would have warned me about that. But friends, it has been just wonderful to... Oh, it wants me to do wonderful to have this conversation with you all and share in this conversation, really. If you've got any questions, please do feel free to ask. Just going to pop the laptop down here on a wet sculpture and just see what the framing looks like as we take a step back here. And I just want to share these last couple of thoughts with you because I do need to get going. But I want to invite you once again, consider this investment, 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. Imagine no longer getting that knot in your stomach, just the thought of having to do a presentation, the thought of how are you going to avoid the conversation around the meeting room, how are you going to sort of hopefully drift off into the background of the Zoom call so that no one calls on you to say anything, how to go from being the last person to speak because of fear, waiting to see what other people say and then deciding to dive in, how to go from being that to being the first person to speak and having the approval, I guess, the compliments from your colleagues for at least sharing your thought leadership and your vision. To my friends on TikTok, yes, I've let the phone slip a little there. There we go. We'll fix that up. It's amplifying my hands. And so this is now how to change who you are, how you show up, how you present yourself for everybody. Are you enough? Is the story really in you? Do you have a story that's worth sharing? That's what this is all about. At its core, this is what is going to change how you show up forever. And that's why this investment of $1,800, let me just pick up the phone here. Let me just show you, friends, on LinkedIn. We're doing a TikTok live here at the moment. And we've got our LinkedIn live conversation happening over here. And so this is just it's a fun sort of space. I haven't yet been able to work out how to do all these social platforms off the one bit of software. For those of you that have done it, you'll know that this is the thing, right? You've got to run other bits of software to make it talk to the social media channels and get it all happening. But this is how to change how you show up forever. 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. authentic connection, because you'll see the value of your own story and you'll feel a level of comfort on camera. Imagine looking back at your videos and no longer hating how you look and sound. That's kind of what we're talking about getting to in that space of being able to just show up authentically without overthinking it. How to just create messaging, create connections, create content. Yes, for social media. Yes, for personal branding. Have you thought about this as you build your career? You think you're staying safe by staying in the shadows and staying quiet. Actually, that's not keeping you safe. That's holding you back. It's restricting you. All of the results, all of the reputation that you have at work, really your work doesn't speak for itself. Your authority is not your story. Your reputation is not your narrative. Your story is so much more than that. And when you show up authentically to tell your story, you build trust with other people at a scale that you can't imagine, you've never thought about before. It is extraordinary. I've had clients tell me that even when they're not looking for another job, they've had other competitor firms approach them directly and say, we love how you're showing up online now. This is fantastic. Would you consider applying for a job with us? We don't have any jobs going at the moment, but if you have a chat with us, we'd love to talk about how we can get you on board. Because we all know that LinkedIn is, you know, when people are out of work, this is a great way to let people know and ask for help. Imagine if you did approach it the other way. If you want an insurance policy around your career, why don't you build out a personal brand? Start telling your story. Just show up authentically. Let other people know who you are and what drives you and what inspires you. I can coach you in that. There's a lot to it, right? Personal brands are not just an overnight set and forget, thanks for coming. They're big things. They're important. They matter. And so, friends, we have just come up onto the cut-off point for the conversation time I had allowed for this. I do have to get on a plane in a couple of hours' time, so I better go. I've actually got to finish packing. But I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to connect now. This is the offer. If you sign up now, if you send me and TikTok, you're gonna have to just pause TikTok for a minute. Sorry, TikTok. You have to pause TikTok, go to LinkedIn and send me a message there, a video message, and just say, hey, I want to do this. I want to make a change. I'm ready to do this. Can I do it now? Send me a short video. And because you're doing this now, what I'm going to do is give you not just the 3-week program, 21 days that will change how you show up forever, but I'll give you 33% more, 28 days that will change how you show up forever. For that one price of $1,800 or that's if you're anywhere in the world, except if you're on Australian soil, the Australian government would like you to pay $2,500. Well, I'm going to charge you $2,500 plus GST, so I can pay the government what we need to there. But this will change how you show up for the rest of your life. You're only going to be able to achieve the same amount of results. Your career progression will only be what it is if you leave it where it is now. If you want to change and achieve results you've never achieved before, you have to show up and do something you've never done before. And friends, the value of your story is extraordinary. Don't hide behind waiting for other people to tell your story for you. You have a story that's worth sharing. And so I want to encourage you in that space. I'm not offering something here that's some, special lotion that you drink or, rub on your ears and it'll change how you show up on camera. This is not about a special tablet that you take that gives you confidence. Importantly, this is not an AI-driven program that you're interacting with. You're just getting me. I will be your coach, bringing my 30 years experience in mainstream media. I started as a sound recordist and observed all sorts of professionals, politicians, business leaders, celebrities showing up on camera. That difference between their authentic self and how they showed up on camera. That's what experience is coming to the fore here. What I struggled with as a junior reporter, struggling to find my relevance. And if you have a look at my YouTube channel, The Unretired Reporter, one of the Central Park videos there, I talk about the experience I had getting to know a senior reporter who did more for me in terms of mentoring than any amount of media training ever could have done. Because media training just focuses on performative techniques. And when you focus on your real purpose, what you're really wanting to achieve, that is the headline that changes everything. That enables authentic connection. And that is so vital. That's what I do as your coach with the full Project B coaching program over several months. You may well decide that's where you want to get to. But I'm giving you here the best part of Project V. The best part for me, because it's where I see the most dramatic transformation. Yes, all of the production techniques are really interesting. It'll save you a lot of money. You don't need to bring other camera crews in anymore to do this. You can do it yourself just with your smartphone. That's fantastic, those techniques. I love the strategy piece that we built as well, a communication strategy around how to get the messaging right. We can even give you ongoing support after the coaching with getting the cadence right of how you show up, building out your personal brand. That is a course that we can offer you as well. But this is before the coaching, before you decide to do Project V coaching. This is giving you the icing on the cake. This is having your dessert before you have the main meal. This is giving you the real biggest change that you can do in your life in terms of how you show up on camera, all in a condensed period of time. Now, I do need to say, it might be that you'll need more than 3, or in this case, 4 weeks, if you take up this offer, to really get the full benefit. But you will definitely get massive results within a couple of days' time. You will feel the difference. You'll be aware of the difference in how you show up. And so I'm excited for what you can start, the change you will start to see happen in this space. Friends, thank you again. For those of you that were here before we started, an hour and a bit ago, that helped me with the technical issues. I appreciate the notes there about sound and all of those other questions. Look forward to keeping this conversation going, because this isn't just you don't just buy this off the shelf in a sense, right? I mean, you kind of can, but this is about thinking through, do I really want this? Do I really need this? Is this really where I'm up to right now? Is this what change I want to see happen for me professionally? Do I value this enough to want to do this? Good evening, friends in New York. Have a lovely Sunday night. To my friends across Australia, thank you for dialing in. Those of you in Sydney, you'll be pleased to know that it looks like, the showers are moving north and west. To the south, it looks pretty clear. So if only I'd done this at midday Sydney time instead of 11 a.m, we might have had a less soggy suit afterwards. But I just love this, right? People often ask me, do I miss being on TV? Do I miss mainstream media? And look, there are aspects of some of the big stories that I remember what it was like for me, but I get so much value out of it's so rewarding working with you all to see the change that you can make in how you show up. So friends, thank you again. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, if you'd like to find out about the full Project V coaching program, I'd love to have a conversation with you to see how it can help you and your company amplify the storytellers within the organisation, and to help to change the workflows of how content creation happens. Because when you can show busy, time-poor executives how to create broadcast quality content using only their smartphone, your CMO and the media team will actually be overwhelmed with more content than they ever knew what to do with. And it's going to be fabulous content to a broadcast quality standard of audio and video, just using a smartphone. But also the way people will speak on video is just going to be natural and authentic, and just sharing a real story with people. That's where we get to. That's the results that we get to here. And so your whole organisation will find benefit in this. Imagine no longer having to bring in external contractors to produce that video content for you. You know, the sort where they take over the boardroom for a couple of hours, maybe a whole day, once a month, spend a fortune, bring in the auto cue, the lights, the full setup, and they create the monthly newsletter that, people watch it. When you've got a staff team in the thousands across the continent you've got to connect with, it's a good way to go, sure. Except they start to be a bit deaf to it, because it's the same look. You don't really speak naturally. You're kind of reading a script. It's the same message you said, not last time, but the time before that. It's a bit flat. You notice as a leader, you're sort of losing it a little bit. You're a little bit less visible today than you were 3 or 4 months ago. This changes that. The cost goes. It's not about saving. Cost goes. You get to do it faster. You get the results immediately. You don't have to wait till next week before that content's ready to be posted or shared internally. It won't be ready at the end of this week. It'll be ready within a couple of minutes of you finishing it. And if you got a headache this morning when you get up, but by lunchtime the headache's gone, well, you just do it in the afternoon. You do it when you're ready, as you're ready, with your phone, nothing else. That's all it is. So that's straightforward. So that's how the overall Project V coaching program works so well for organisations to change, to elevate their storytellers, those people with deep technical expertise that may have stayed out of the spotlight because it wasn't comfortable and because the marketing team just told it for them. Imagine elevating them so that they can be the storytellers. It's not a bad way to go. Talk about building trust at scale by showing the expertise of the people. I mean, quite often C-suite leaders have no idea about the technical capabilities. They've got some broad categories they can speak to it, but they don't know what they're really talking about. They don't know how the engine makes the car go. But imagine if you've got the mechanics in who built the engine, who maintain it, and talk about it in some level of detail. Imagine if they learned how to articulate the story. Not a bad way to go. Behind the scenes, the before and after, client testimonials, stakeholder engagement. These are the sorts of narratives that your marketing team's going to love when you bring this to the table and show what's possible. No great rollout of equipment. Everyone's just taking on a storyteller mindset and using their smartphones like never before to achieve a disproportional result. You're no longer relying on the comms department who are run off their feet, who are very hard to get hold of, never reply to your emails, do they? Because they're so busy, right? And they're working with the bigger projects, not yours. How to do it yourself, how to cut through that time barrier, that resource barrier, that cost barrier, and how to do content that's far more engaging and connects with people in a far more authentic way. That is Project V. And we're going to give you the icing on the cake of Project V for the next it's not just the next 3 weeks, but 3 weeks. We're calling this 3 weeks that will change how you show up forever. We're going to give you the bonus week, $1,800 US for bespoke coaching. No courses, no Zoom workshops, no AI-generated response. You get Evan Batten, the unretired reporter, giving you tailored feedback on your content as you make progress through this space to change how you show up forever. That's what you get. 2,500 Australian dollars plus GST. And that will give you an experience, a program, coaching sessions with me that will achieve extraordinary results, give you confidence on camera. Imagine looking back and going, I don't hate that. I'm happy with how I look and sound. That's where you get to when you make this start. Let's keep the conversation going. I can see there's some messages there. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to watch this and to engage with it. And please do reach out. I love to talk about this, to see strategically how this will change how you show up for the rest of your life. Thanks again. We switched off TikTok there. We've let them go. Happy music playing. I feel like it went well. Thank you again for your time, LinkedIn. Do appreciate the connections here. And if you're in Sydney and you think about going out for a walk at lunch, bring a brolly with you because it's that kind of day. Anyway, at least I can walk back to the car now without getting soaked. Thank you again for your time, and any questions, please do let me know.